right, there's a Narset, so we'll grow Spiral. Our opponent is going to be a little disappointed, I think. We will put Castle Lockwing into play. Opponent, Narset takes it down. However, there's a counter. Sorry, opponent. Casualties of War. We will go Enchantment Land Planeswalker. This is after our opponent just played their third land. Back down to 2, and I think it's looking a little worse for him here in Game 3. Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and right now you can get this sweet Scoop Soldier sticker when you order over at cardkingdom.com. Just mention in your order notes that you want a Scoop Soldier sticker when you go to checkout. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. And this week, we're doing something a little bit different. Normally on Much Abrew, we're playing some janky weird decks. Well, today's deck, not that janky or not that weird. We are playing Sultai Field of the Dead in Historic. So why are we playing this deck? And here is the story of this deck. For the last week, I've been talking about this deck, saying that I think that now that we have Amonkhet Remastered and we have Hour of Promise, we should probably ban Field of the Dead in the format. I think it needs to go. But surprisingly, there's been a lot of kind of pushback on that, discussion about that. People saying, well, no, I don't think it needs to. I think aggro can beat it. I think this can beat it. I don't actually think it's that good. So, today for science, we're going to see how good this deck is. Because I do think it is a very fair point that if you're going to say, the deck should probably be banned, rather than just losing to the deck and playing against it, probably a good idea to actually play it and see how it feels. So that's what we're doing today. Field of the Deading for science in Historic. Should this deck be banned? Is it too good for the format? Does aggro actually beat it? Well, we're going to find out. So anyway, let's talk about the deck really quick. Shouldn't take too long. Jump right into the games and, I don't know, see how good this deck actually is. Is it something that it needs to be banned? Does it need to be banned quickly? Can it be beaten? We're going to find out today. So our deck is built around, of course, Field of the Dead, formerly suspended in Historic, but now back in the format. Basically, as long as you got 7 lands with different names, whenever a land comes into play, you get to make a zombie. Our deck is all in on this effect. I would consider our deck like a turbo Field of the Dead deck. And the biggest new addition to this deck is Hour of Promise from Amonkhet Remastered, which for 5 mana just tutors 2 lands onto the battlefield. Ignore the zombie text. We're not getting deserts really or anything like that. But we are grabbing 2 Field of the Deads most often. So 2 Field of the Deads for 5 mana on the battlefield, and in conjunction with a ton of other ramp. Explores, Grow Spirals on turn 2, Urros, Cultivates on turn 3, Oracle Moldiah, 1-up for the late game. There's a decent chance that we're going to ramp on turn 2 or turn 3, Hour of Promise for 2 Field of the Deads on turn 4, and then we just go off. Everything we do is putting multiple zombies into play. We can get up to 4 Field of the Deads really easily, and then it's so hard to fizzle, because if we draw a land, great, we're getting a bunch of zombies for free. If we draw a spell, great, it's probably putting a land into play. Plus, some of our spells can be powerful as well. So that is the entire idea of the deck. We also have a couple of finishers, Hydroid Crosses, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, but really, we're mostly winning with zombies. But since we got a bunch of mana, Hydroid Crosses can draw us cards. Ugin, kind of a sweeper that a lot of times gets concessions from opponents. As far as interaction, Thoughtseize for the early game, Heartless Act in Languish to deal with our opponent's creatures. Mana base wise, there's 50 lands in this deck. We got 31 lands altogether. Most of them are 1-ofs. We're not going to talk about every one, but the ones of note, because remember, Hour of Promise can tutor up any land. So even though we're mostly snagging our Field of the Deads, if we need removal, we can get Blast Zone, Bajuka Bog for graveyards, Castle Lockwade, Archer Varaska can draw us cards. Otherwise, we get some cycling, some shock lands, some check lands, some gain lands, some basic lands. Like I said, pretty much all just 1-ofs because we want those 7 different names for Field of the Dead. As far as our sideboard for aggro, a bunch of removal, Ether Gust can come in versus aggro or some control decks. Elder Gargaroth, kind of our creature tech for mono red, just big and life gaining. Massacre Worm, really funny in the mirror. Opponent makes a bunch of zombies, so we Massacre Worm, wipe them out, maybe win the game. Ulamog for control matchups. Tameo, also good against control. Casualties Award, a little bit of everything. Grafdigger's Cage for graveyards, for goblins, for collected companies. And that is Field of the Dead for Historic. That's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So, is this deck good? Is it bannably good? Does it get beat by aggro? Let's jump into some games and find out. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with the wrap-up. All right, Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are seeing how broken Field of the Dead actually is in Historic. So we've been talking about this a lot. I've been saying I think that Field of the Dead clearly needs to be banned as soon as possible, now that Hour Promise is in the format. But some people have disagreed. They say they think aggro beats it. They say they think it's not that good. So I figured probably the best way to figure it out was to play the deck ourselves. So let's see if the deck is busted as how I've seen it look in our opponent's hands. We will see. Opponent plays a Forest and Gilded Goose. Opponent's playing Sacrifice. Playing land. Thought sees you. Oh, interesting. I guess we just take Collected Company. Opponent. This Ooze is good against our Uro, potentially. Alright, land or Elves. And cash in the food for Ooze? Nope. Alright. Opponent passes. Now play a Forest. Explore. Put a Triome into play. Pass the turn. Boot it. Yes, Ooze is annoying. Wouldn't mind finding a way to deal with that, so we could actually do Uro things. Although, our opponent does not have removal for Oracle, so maybe we can just go with Oracle. Maybe that'll just be all we need about it. Blood Artist. Alright, sure. And the Ooze. Opponent's running it all out. We will play a... Blaststone actually has some appeal. But I think we just play an island, play Oracle, Watery Grave, tapped, pass the turn. Yeah, we could try to take a Blaststone to 2. Opponent's got some awkward mana going on at the moment. Where's our Field of the Deads? I feel like we should have like 3 Field of the Deads in play by now and like 20 zombies. Opponent oozes us. Yeah, we'll take it. Down to 16. Opponent passes. Well, play Fetid Pools. Growth Spiral. Put Hinterland Harbor into play. Grove Spiral. Put Blast Zone into play. Thought sees you. Take the Bastion. Breeding Pool untapped. Pass the turn. Ooh, there's our Hour of Promise. Yeah, so next turn is where our deck gets crazy. Untap land so we can take up Blast Zone and get rid of this Ooze in Uro. Land for our opponent. Bastion of Remembrance. Opponent hits us. We will charge up Blast Zone. Drop to 10. Play Thornwood Falls. I guess we should be Hour Promising first. Alright, sack Blast Zone. Yeah, okay, so we already punted. That's already a pun. I don't think it's going to matter, but that was a pun. Because we could have Hour Promise for 2 Field of the Deads first and got an extra zombie. So we get rid of the Ooze, we get rid of the Blood Artist. Opponent going to eat random things because might as well. Not doing anything else with their mana. We get Drayed, we get Drayed. Yep. We Hour Promise. Field of the Dead, Field of the Dead. Pretty good. Make some zombies. Go attacking. Opponent blocks for some reason. And now this is where the deck feels like you just can't lose. Like, I don't know how. Like, how do we lose from here? Not to land or Elves. Opponent passes. Well, we will play Woodland Cemetery. Make some zombies. Bajuka Bog. You know what? I think we'll make some zombies. It's almost like having every one of your lands make 2 2/2s is pretty powerful. Then we will play an Uro. Draw a card, gain some life. And opponent! They know. There's no coming back from that. And now we get to change up our sideboard a little bit with our opponent's deck in mind. Massacre Worm seems pretty good. So what seems good? Massacre Worm seems good. Grafdigger's Cage seems good. Disfigure seems pretty good. Maybe Languish. What seems bad in our deck is the other question. We probably go down Thoughtseizes, honestly. Go down the Thoughtseizes, and let's trim a couple lands. We have so many lands. 31 is a very, very high number. Go down 1 Fabled Passage and 1 Watery Grave. All right, run it like that. All right, I guess we'll keep this. We do need a blue source, but opponent, Thoughtseize? All right. I assume they take Heartless Act and then hope we don't draw green mana. Yeah, it's not green mana. All right, Overgrown Tomb tap, pass the turn. Gilded Goose for our opponent. I think we actually just kill it. If our opponent kept a one-lander, spending one of our precious removal spells to get rid of the goose seems worth it. Come on, blue mana. Once we get blue mana, this hand is going to do things. Thoughtseize again. Takes another Uro. Well, Bajukabagya. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. Ooh, alright. Fabled Passage. Crack it. Grab an island. So blue mana has been achieved. I think we just Growth Spiral main phase. Triome. Well, alright. And next turn, opponent's got one land. We have a million zombies. And, oh! Alright. Opponent, discard spell number 3. Keeps our opponent alive for the time being. Well, play the land. Massacre Worm. We are on the Massacre Worm beatdown plan now. No value from the ETB, just... Whoa! So, on one hand, our opponent was stuck on one land. Although they did keep a hand that had a ton of one-mana plays. They kept it because they had 2 Thoughtseizes and the Goose. But that was not even, like, explosive, and we still just absolutely crushed them. Yeah, alright. So far, nothing has changed my mind about this deck being busted. Alright. Much brew about nothing time. We are dark-siding in Historic. We are, for science, trying to figure out just how busted... Boy, if we had... Yeah, I think we mulligan that. Trying to figure out just how busted Field of the Dead actually is. I think we just put a... Let's see. Green, blue... Let's put the swamp to the bottom and trust that we are going to hit our lands. Thornwood Falls, go. I mean, our deck has 31 lands, so our draws are likely to be more lands. Watery Grave, untapped. Growth Spiral, Field of the Dead, number 1. Opponent, untaps. Mountain, passes. Well, we will Uro gain some life. Put a Triome into play. Drown Catacombs, go. So this is what, turn, opponents played 2 lands. We're up to, okay, Ramanamp Ruins. Opponents played 3 lands now. So we, Hour of Promise. We get 2 Field of the Deads. Overgrown Tomb. Pass the turn. So we are up to what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're up to 8 mana. Opponent pings us, okay. Passes. Forest. 3 zombies for free. And pass the turn. We're not even doing anything. We haven't done anything. And we're just, I mean, okay, so now we're in this position where every land we draw is 6 power across 3 bodies. And if we don't draw lands, we're drawing spells, which are also good. We will kill your Glorybringer. We also just want cards in the graveyard for this Uro to start drawing more cards. Opponent passes. Field of the Dead. How about 4 zombies this time? Okay, so we played a land drop. Made more power worth of creatures than our opponent has played all game. And our opponent scoops it up. Okay, well... okay, yeah, that's reasonable. So opponent's playing mono red. I think against mono red, Ether Gust seems pretty good. Elder Gargaroth seems pretty good. I'm a little confused as to exactly what kind of mono red deck our opponent's playing. They could be like a big red deck. It's a little weird to not see them play anything in the early game. They might have just had a bunch of burn spells in hand and not really any good time to use them. I think we'll go down the Thoughtseizes, and maybe we just keep it like this. That's probably fine. I mean, what's the matter? When all of your lands give you zombies, who cares what you do? I wonder if you could play, I wonder how many lands you could play in a deck like this. We have 31, which already sounds ridiculous, but like, could we play, I think we keep the 6 lander. We can cycle if we need to. Ooh, Ether Gust is nice. Let's see. Overgrown Doom tapped, pass the turn. So, I wonder if you could play like 40, 45. Like, what's the maximum number of lands you could play? Opponent has a Memekin. Ooh, I'll play the land. I think we want to deal with the Steamkin before we start ramping. Oh, another one. Well, alright. Ether Gust. So opponent is a lot more aggressive than we thought, which will change our sideboarding plans. Well, we will Woodland Cemetery, Uro. Put Jungle Hollow into play. Pass the turn. Steamkin returns. Yeah, removal would be nice. Down to 22. Another land. Well, let's explore. Put Field of Dead into play. Put Castle Lochwain. into play. Pass the turn. So next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next turn we start to get zombies. Earthshaker, Kenra. Well, cycle a Triome. Opponent hits us for a bunch. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, play Fabled Passage. Get a zombie. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab an island, get a zombie. Cycle Fetid Pools. Uro. Draw a card, gain some life. These two memekins, though, can go off. Fabled Passage. Make a zombie. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a forest. Make a zombie. Explore. Put a Blast Zone into play. Make a zombie. Alright. Well, your go, opponent. I am a little worried if they can just, like, combo off with these runaway Steamkins that they might still get us. Like, if they can just keep casting... They might be able to cast their entire hand this turn, which is pretty scary. We'll see what's in that hand, and we do have plenty of blockers, but our opponent might have a really good turn. Alright, Bone Crusher. Counters on Steamkin, so that's card number 1. And Rune Blaster. Alright, sure. So, answer is Field of the Dead, number 1. Yeah, opponent can still keep going with these Steamkins. Annex. Alright. So opponent has done their thing. It was pretty good. We could use an Hour Promise. Hour Promise would be our best draw. Let's think about this. Well, go to combat. Attack with Uro. Draw a card. Put Breeding Pool into play untapped. Opponent blocks. Alright. So we trade off. Opponent gets a couple dorks. We will Guro Spiral. Put a Swamp into play. We will cycle a Triome. Get back Uro. Draw a card, gain some life. Put Archivarosk into play. Pass the turn. Alright, I mean, we still got a bunch of blockers. And we will find more Field of the Deads. Like, that will happen. Opponent. Lightning Strike. To get counters on Steamkin. Sure. One card in hand. It is a Glorybringer. I mean, Glorybringer's good-ish. And Bone Crusher. Alright, so that's our opponent's hand. Can we beat it? Glorybringer gets in, hits us down to 15. Well, let's Grow Spiral. There's Hour Promise. Hour Promise. To Field of the Deads. Here they come. Zombie, zombie, zombie. Go to combat, attack with Uro. Gain some life. Opponent chumps. Oh, they're gonna actually trade. Okay, that's fine. Opponent trades. We will... I think we just pass. We pass and take up our our Blast Zone. So aggro is one of the decks people said beat this deck. I don't know. So far, the amount of zombies we have seems to be holding down the fort. Even against a double memekin, dump your hand draw. So busted. Vote it. Goes to combat. And we can just freely trade off our zombies because there will always be more. That is what makes the deck, part of what makes the deck so good. Opponent hits us down to 14. Bone Crushes, sure. Well, let's tick up Blast Zone. Finally get rid of these Steamkins, which have been annoying. Opponent Pat. Oh boy, even more cheaty. Do we even need Ugin? Let's play it fairly. Sack Blast Zone, kill your 2-drops. Grow Spiral. Cultivate. Land and land. Get some zombies. Play a land, get some zombies. Uro. Draw a card. Perhaps a land. Perhaps some zombies. It's back. We're up to 15. Oh, and a languish. Attack with everything. Your go, opponent. It's so insane. Opponent blocks. Drops to 6. All right. Best of luck. We could have just played Ugin. Our opponent probably would have scooped, but, well, they scooped anyway, even without the Ugin. And, well, I mean, obviously, small sample size. That was one match. But, I don't know. I don't know about the aggro beats it, because that didn't actually feel very close. And unlike the first game where our opponent had a very weird bird-heavy hand, this was turn 1, turn 2, or turn 2, turn 3 Steamkin hand. Get that we couldn't deal with them other than an Ether Gust to buy a turn. Dump your hand, Glorybringers, Annexes, basically a very good mono red hand, and still, not even a little close. Yeah, Field of the Dead, pretty good. Alright, much brew about nothing time. We are figuring out just how busted Field of the Dead really is. There's been a bit of debate, I would say. Some people don't think it's as busted as as I do. So we're going to see. Apparently, from what some people have said, they think aggro is the way to beat it. So this will be a good test for our deck. Well, Triome go. Not off to the fastest start. Although Languish is good. Opponent, Mountain, and Crushy Crusherton. Hits us, yeah. Yeah, let's just Island and Uro. Gain some life. Put Field of the Dead into play. Pass the turn. Well, we're getting close to zombies, and we do have the sweeper for next turn. Another Earthshaker. I mean, we're taking a big hit here. Alright, yeah. Down to 10. However, we get to Drown Catacombs, Languish you. Deal with the board for now. Mountain for our opponent. And Bone Crusher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I think what we do is, let's cultivate. Get a swamp and an island. Put the swamp into play. Play a forest, get a zombie. Explore. Play an island, get a zombie. Alright, so we've gotten to zombie mode. We do still need cards in our graveyard to be able to... get back this Uro. Hazoret. Well, jump block time. Down to 6. Oh, so close. So close, and yet so far. So, Arch of Araska. Make a zombie. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. On-crop Crasher. So we need to, let's think about this. 1, 2, 3, or 5. Draw a card. Heartless Act. Kill on-crop Crasher. Opponent attacks. We block. We drop to 2 for a moment. Untap. Oh, we don't have basics left. That's awkward. That's really awkward. That's very awkward. Well, Fabled Passage. We have to crack this because we need Uro, even though we can't get a land, which is so strange. Uro. Get us back up to 5. Draw a card. Ooh. That's interesting. We're at 5. We'll put... Do we even put this into play? Let's not. Languish. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent. Oh, they were close. They were really close. And scoops it up? Oh, I don't know about this aggro wins theory. I really don't. We will bring in Elder Gargaroth. We will bring in Ether Gust. We will go down Thoughtseize. And run it like that. Oh, this deck's so insane. Well, yeah. I don't know if Mono Red actually beats it. It didn't that time, and they were on the play, and they had a Hazoret, and we didn't even have, like, an insane start or anything. That was, like, probably pretty medium for our deck. Ooh, alright. Well, let's see what answers. They probably are bringing in Rune Blasters, I would guess. That seems to be Mono Red's go-to, but not especially super scared of Rune Blasters. Alright. We'll keep. Only 2 lands, but we do have the Languish, and we only need 1 land to cultivate into Languish. Yeah, Jungle Hollow go. So many tap lands. Ramadan Bruins, Earthshaker, Kenra. Yeah, down to 17. Now, Triome, go. Mounted for our opponent, and Bone Crusher Giant. Down to 14. Do we need to worry about dying this turn? Probably. Play Field of the Dead, pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Emperor Cleave. Yes, we will Ether Gust that. Alright, opponent puts it to the bottom. Hits us to 7. We will Castle Lockwane. Languish. Untap. Hazoret, but can't attack yet. How do we not die to Hazoret is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think, all right, let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3. So we cultivate to 5 lands. We explore to 6 lands. And then Fabled Passage is 7. So cultivate. Get a forest and a swamp. Put the swamp into play. Play the forest. Explore. Fabled Passage, get a zombie. Crack Fabled Passage. Get an island, get a zombie. And now at least we can chump block the Hazoret for the time being. Ferocidon. Opponent passes. Yeah, Ferocidon's an issue. 1-2. What do we do about this? Well, let's cultivate. Yeah, this actually might kill us. Get it? Because we're making a... Yeah, this Ferocidon is an issue, for sure. We get pigged. Explore. Explore. Ooh, swap. Fabled Passage. Yeah, I think this Ferocidon might steal it. We don't have a removal spell for it, so we can't gain a bunch of life with this Hazoret, or with this Hydroid Crosses. So we need to draw a removal spell. Maybe we should bring in more removal. Opponent's going to discard a card, hit us to 2. Or they have a shock. Shocking. Shockingly good draw. Opponent. Well, we need a removal spell. And we got to draw this turn. Our Promise does not do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Ugh, we can't even go 6, can we? Alright. Well, crosses. X2. We need to be live to hit a Languish. We go to 1. Growth Spiral. Yeah, alright. Yeah, well, the Ferocidon was pretty good. We'll have to see. If we have... Yeah, I guess we should bring in even more removal for it. Other than the Aethergus. Like, another Languish and a Heartless Act, maybe? Going down... What do we cut, though? That's the question. Maybe we gotta go down the Oracle and then just a land? Go 30 lands? Trim a Watery Grave? Actually, let's trim a Fabled Passage. Alright. Well, we're on the play. So our opponent did manage to get us there. The Ferocidon was actually a pretty good answer. Obviously, it does die, but that is some tech to keep in mind, I guess, for playing against this deck. If it sticks around, it kind of just put us in a position where we couldn't make zombies or it was going to kill us. But with more removal, things should hopefully be even better. Alright, we are on the play. And, alright, well, this hand's decent. We have, I think we lead on a dual land, actually. So we have removal spell into Our Promise. A ramp spell would be, ooh, and Gargaroth. Yeah, let's just field it, that go. An early game ramp spell would be great. Opponent plays a land. Earth Shaker. Kenra hits us. More Heartless Acts are fine. Breeding Pool tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent Ramanop Ruins. On Crop Crasher. Well, let's just kill on Crop. Drop to 16. 1, 2, 3. Let's Breeding Pool tapped. I think we're just going to play Gargaroth first, actually. Land for our opponent. Combat. Hits us. We will take it. Ferocidon. Well, we will kill Ferocidon. Hinterland Arbor. Gargaroth. Go. Gargaroth's really good against mono red. Like, a handful of burn spells could get it. Hazoret. Okay. Opponent passes. We're at 14. Go to combat. Attack. Draw a card. Opponent. If they double block, we'll just Aethergust Hazoret. Opponent takes it. Interesting. Well, Castle Lockwade. Go. Mounted. Opponent. Oh, opponent can't block anyway. Duh. Alright. Untap. I don't know why I was thinking it was just attack. Well, play Blast Zone. Go to combat. Get him a Gargaroth. Let's make a beast. Oh, man. If our opponent discards 2 cards so they can block, they're going to get so blown out by this Aethergust. Discards a card. Oh, they're going to go for it. Oh, this is going to be so painful for our opponent. Discards a card. We drop to 10. Opponent double blocks. I assume. Maybe they... Okay, double blocks. So we just Aethergust Hazoret. And opponent didn't even need the Hour of Promise. I don't think aggro's the solution. I really don't. We're still just destroying people. This deck's so good. It is so insane. Yeah, all right. Yeah, still good. Sweet. Much Abrew about nothing time. We are experiencing just how broken Field of the Dead really is in Historic. For science! I know it's not the spiciest deck we've ever played, but I think it's one of the most important, because the question is, like, is this deck too good for the format? That's what we're trying to figure out. And the only way you can really figure that out is by actually playing the deck. We don't really have an option to say that with certainty without playing it. So, opponent's on Yarion. All right. Well, if it's a control deck, that's probably good news for us. Let's Watery Grave Thoughtseize you. We will take... It's actually interesting. What do we take? Scarab God is the biggest long-term threat. Omen of the Sun does stuff. Yeah, let's just take Scarab God. I mean, our hand's pretty good. We got a lot of ramp. Tap land. Well, Woodland Cemetery, Explore, Field of the Dead, Part 1. Opponent. Drowned Catacombs. Well, let's Uro. Draw a card, gain some life. Opponent runs out the Omen. Gotta get their tokens going. Ooh, Thoughtseize. But we can't cast it till next turn. So we will put Thornwood Falls into play. We will put a Triome into play. Pass the turn. Well, we are 2 zombies next turn. Tap land. Narset. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. It shuts down our Explore draw. Gets a Thoughtseize. Hits us. Well, we will... Let's think about this. Explore for no value. Put Arch of Araska into play. Put Breeding Pool into play. Get a zombie. And pass the turn. We're fine with our opponent Thoughtseizing because all we have is a Thoughtseize. So it just saves us mana. Narset gets a Oath of Gaia. Oath of Gaia to kill our zombie. Yeah. Are they going to Thoughtseize? Alright, opponent Thoughtseizes. Takes our Thoughtseize, because that's the only option. We will cycle Fetid Pools. Opponent hits us down to 16. Well, Fabled Passage. Make a zombie. Crack Fabled Passage. Get an island, make a zombie. Uro. Get a 6/6, gain some life. No card draw because of Narset, but put a lad into play, make a zombie. Pass the turn. Opponent's probably got a Wrath now, I assume. Yeah, there's a Wrath of God. And opponent plays a land. Well, Forest, zombie. Pass the turn. Opponent's fighting the fight because right now we only have... I think we still draw, even though we're going to have to... Oh, that sucks. It gets us closer to getting Uro back, but, well, go to combat. Attack Narset. This Narset has been a major annoyance. Opponent gains some life. They get to block. Yeah, opponent is staying alive. Well, pass the turn. Ghost Quarter. Wow, that was unfortunate. Opponent plays a Liliana. Takes it up. Well, we will Grow Spiral. Oh, boy, do we have the worst luck here. Okay. Yeah, we have... That was as bad as it gets. All right. And there's the Ghost Quarter on our Field of the Dead. Well, we will grab a Swamp. Oh, we drew exactly the 2 cards we didn't want to draw. Well, there's Field of the Dead. Mega Zombie. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Castle Ardenvale. Gets Yarion for the future. And plays Trial of Ambition to kill our zombie. And opponent's passing. Well, we get to draw a card. I'll play a land, get a zombie. Pass the turn. Yes, Narset's been brutal. Brutal. Keeping our opponent in the game. We also drew our cards at just the worst possible time. Opponent runs out a Doom Foretold. Well, we will draw a card. Nothing to sack, so we discard Uro. Thoughtseize our opponent. Get rid of that Yarion. Yeah, none of that. Play a Blast Zone. Get a zombie. And I think our opponent might have got too cute. Get in at your Narset. Opponent gains a bit of life. Sure. All right, pass the turn. Pass the turn. Opponent draws another Doom Foretold. Wow. Our opponent, actually, that draw is a good one for them. We drop to 6. We're going to drop to 4. How do we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think we Blast Zone up 2. No reason to draw a card. Well, actually, we're going to have to discard it. Yeah, I think we do. We just want cards in our graveyard for... Oh my goodness, again? Wow. Oh, we have had some kind of bad beats here. Well, get back in Uro. Actually, no. First we need to sack this Blast Zone. Finally get rid of this Narset. Now we get back in Uro. Wow, twice! Our random draw was our Field of the Deads, which is very unfortunate. Uro gains us some life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How worried are we about Liliana? Opponent has a Wrath. All right, let's hold on to the land. Hour of Promise. Get Castle Lochwain and... yeah, I guess Bojuka Bog. Castle Lochwain, Bojuka Bog. Make some zombies. Get rid of our opponent's graveyard. Attack Liliana. Opponent blocks. Well, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a lad. Harass again. But opponent is running out of action. Cracks Fabled Passage. Swamp. Takes up Liliana. We untap. We Uro. Draw a card. Gain some life. Oh, Ugin. That was a good one. Wow. Our opponent had a great hand against us, and we drew really awkwardly, and it still, I don't think, is going to be enough for him. Like, that went, like, as good as it could for our opponent, and pretty awkwardly for us, and we're still going to win. Yes, deck is really strong. Opponent has not scooped to the Ugin yet. Kills Uro. Sure. Does not kill Uro. Bojuka Bog doing work. Well, Ugin, we will shoot down your Liliana, play a land, make a zombie, Castle Lochwain, draw a card, cultivate, yeah, get the lands, make a zombie. Wow, this is only with one field in the dead too, because we kept having to draw and discard them. I'll get in with Uro. Gain some life, back up to 12. Opponent makes a 1/1, sure. We'll put the swamp into play, make a zombie. Yeah, all right. Well, your go, opponent. And we actually have Ugin Ultimate this turn. Liliana. That is acceptable. Kills a zombie. Wow, is our opponent going to actually play it out? All right, we'll draw a card. Untap. Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 permanents. Tapped. Make some zombies, put a land into play, make a zombie, go to combat, hit Liliana and our opponent. We do have to not mill out. That is a very slight concern, but that is a bit of a concern. Opponent goes to 29. Hour of Promise. Couple lands, couple zombies. Uro returns. Why is this Heartless Act always at the top of our deck? Oh, maybe it really is there. What do we have, 9 cards? All right, pass the turn. Opponent plays a land, passes. Well, Ugin your face. Go to combat, attack with everything. Opponent, gonna make a dork. We will kill it. Draw Growth Spiral. I don't think we have any lands left. And opponent is dead. Whoo! My goodness. Wow. Seriously, that went, I think, as awkwardly as it can go for our deck. Twice with just trying to draw randomly before we had to discard to fill our graveyard for Uro. We twice hit Field of the Deads, and we had an Hour of the Promise that was also good. So instead of just hitting like random do-nothings, we were hitting our best cards. And our opponent had that Narset that kept us from doing much for a long time, and still just did not actually make a difference in the end. Like, still just got there. So we will bring in Casualties of War and Ulamog to have more finishing power. We will go down 2 Languishes and, maybe just Oracle. Run like that. Opponent does have a lot of removal and sweepers, so I feel like Oracle's probably just going to die. Alright, that sounds fine. We got the Hour of Promise, got an Uro, got a Thoughtseizes, and many tap lands. Yeah, Swamp and Thoughtseizes. Opponent cracks. Grabs an island. Ooh. Those are several cards that are good against us. What do we take here? I guess we gotta take Crucible. Yeah, we gotta take Crucible. But this does mean Narset sticks around, which is awkward. I guess Blast Zone can get it eventually. Well, Thornwood falls. Go. Ghost Quarter. Well, here's the Narset. Boo and Hiss. Narset ticks down. Elspeth conquers death. Cultivate's not bad. Play Blast Zone. Cultivate. Island. Forest. Put a forest into play. Fabled Passage for our opponent. Cracks it. Narset finds. Thoughtseize. Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit and a half. That can take our Hour of Promise and actually give our opponent some hope. Takes Hour of Promise. Gets Yarion. Well, Hinterland Harbor go. Another Ghost Quarter. Hey, Ghost Quarters could deal with our Blast Zone. Opponent might actually have a shot with how they have constructed their deck. Doom Foretold. Well, we will charge up Blast Zone. I mean, this does put our opponent down a land. Yeah. Opponent Blast Zones. We take a Swamp. We will discard Uro for now. Well, Thoughtseize our opponent. Take, Yarion or Doom Foretold? It's actually tough. So opponent has a ton of removal. And I'll take Yarion. Cultivate. Get our last two basics. Put a land into play. Put a land into play. Yeah, this Narset's been super annoying. That is a card that's kind of keeping our opponent in this. Opponent. Doom Foretold again. And a land, and hits us, and we will discard Explore, and we draw Explore. Yeah, this Narset's insane. Well, yeah, I mean, alright. Uro, for no real value. Huh! This is awkward. Well, pass the turn. Opponent plays a land. Elspeth Conquers Death to get rid of our Uro. Opponent hits us. And... well, there's casualties finally. Planeswalker, land enchantment creature. You. And. You and. You and you and. You. Alright, so kill a bunch of stuff. Explore. Put Fabled Passage into play. Pass the turn. Opponent. Untaps. Land. Combat. Hits us. Down to 8. Passes. Well, Growth Spiral. Put a... actually, I don't think we put the land into play yet. Keep the land. Crack Fabled Passage for no value, sadly. Yep. Oh my goodness, I'm an idiot. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay. Just kidding. Oh, that was pretty bad. That was very bad. So I kind of forgot that... Uro got exiled. I was thinking it was still in our deck. Watery Grave tapped. Yeah, that was a punt. Opponent makes a dork. Well, if we don't draw something, we could be in trouble. Opponent plays a land, it goes to combat, hits us down to 6. We untap. Just a land. Uh-oh. Opponent makes a token, and they have 3 damage in hand. Oh, this is very not good. Very not good. Yeah, we're running out of time. Opponent untaps. Hits us to 6. We could be dead right now if they have 2 Oath of Gaias. Plays a land. Ugin. Oh, and their last card was a veto. Alright. Whoo! Opponent untaps. Hits us. We gotta draw something this turn. Well, Castle Lockwade. Draw a card. Down to 4. Growth Spiral, draw a card. Oh, nope. Growth Spiral, draw a card. That's not going to do it. Yeah, makes a token. Uro. Uro does gain us enough that we're not dead this turn. Alright, pass the turn. We're not dead yet. Not quite. Opponent. Thoughtseizes Ulamog. That's a hit. Hits us. Down to 5. Oath of... what, they draw another one? Down to 2. Hits our Castle Lockwade. No basics left. Yup. Oh, wow. Okay, so opponent... opponent just being a troll. Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, we'll run it back. So opponent just trolling there. They actually had lethal and they were just kind of having some fun. All right. Well, Narset has been an issue, and it has been a constant issue. We will see. We will see. Yeah, Narset's just been ruining our day. And we also have not had much luck getting fields going. Well, Jungle Hollow go. Opponent. Tap land. Well, Watery Grave. And Explore. Put a Triome into play. Pass the turn. Isolate a chapel for our opponent. We will Field of Dead, pass the turn. Omen of the Sea for our opponent. Well, this is the kind of start we want. We are in pretty decent shape at the moment. Like, now we're kind of hoping our opponent plays a Narset, because we will just casually use them back into last week. Like, oh, it'll be so brutal. All right, there's a Narset, so we'll grow Spiral. Our opponent is going to be a little disappointed, I think. We will put Castle Lockwing into play. Wait, green, green, blue, blue. Okay, we're good. Opponent, Narset takes it down. However, oh, there's a counter. Sorry, opponent. Casualties of War. We will go Enchantment Land Planeswalker. This is after our opponent just played their third land. Back down to 2, and Control got us in one game, but I think it's looking a little worse for him here in game 3. Ghost Quarter. Sure. That's our Field of the Dead. Goes down another land. We will grab a... doesn't matter. Grab a Forest. Opponent passes. Well, Thornwood Falls. Our Promise. 2 Field of the Deads. Some zombies. And can our opponent's 2 lands prevent the zombie apocalypse? This actually might be the best example because our opponent's deck is built for this matchup. Like, they're playing all the Ghost Quarters. They're playing Crucible. They're playing everything they can to try to make this matchup reasonable for them. And it just doesn't make a difference. Like, not even close. Yeah, let's get Arch Veraska. Make many zombies. Go to combat. Attack ya. Draw with Castle Lockwing, I guess. We could hit a land, I think. All right, Cultivate. Well, yeah. Opponent, Fable Passage, cracks it. They're not giving up. They're not giving up. I give our opponent credit for not giving up. Gets a Blades. Oath of Gaia. Sure. Well, Thoughtseize you. Take Scarab God. Casualties you. Blow it up. Blow it up. Cultivate. Land and land. Make some zombies. Make some zombies. Hit you to 1. All right, your go, opponent. Oh, that was brutal. Well, yeah, there's the Crucible. That's the game plan, but, like, what do you, like, this is why Ghost Quarter Field of the Dead doesn't actually work. Like, sure, yeah, look at that. You got one of our 3 Field of the Deads. You can do it again next turn, but we have a million power of zombies, and you gave us more, like, it's not an actual, like, legitimate plan. Attack you with 16 zombies while you have 3 lands. And, yeah, got him. Well, I think we're seeing a good example of how the plans that people have to fight against this deck are not actually good enough. I love Crucible Worlds, and I love Crucible Worlds Ghost Quarter. Like, that's a sweet plan, but it's just, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, it's just so far behind. They have the Narset, they have a handful of counters, like, whatever. Like, we're just gonna make zombies, and sure, Ghost Quarter us eventually. Like, go for it. Whew. Yeah, still good. Still good. Alright, much brew about nothing time. We are figuring out if Field of the Dead is as busted as it seems in Historic. And that's fine. We don't have any ramp, but we have a good defensive hand. Especially if we're not up against a control deck. Yeah, Overground Doom tapped. Save the Triome. There's some chance that we want to cycle it. Well, Thoughtseize you. Oh, opponent's also playing. Looks like our opponent's playing Bant Field of the Dead. Interesting. Well, we will take a Grow Spiral. Play Field of the Dead past the turn. Still might cycle this Triome. Hinterland Harbor for our opponent. So opponent can Grow Spiral. Let's... we can't Cultivate because of Censor. We gotta wait till next turn. Alright. Alright. Actually, let's Woodland Cemetery cycle the Triome. I think that's fine. We should have all the lands we need because of this Cultivate. So I think we're fine with cycling Triome and trying to hit some ramp or card draw or something. Opponent Grow Spirals. So opponent can answer a Field of the Dead with this Field of Ruin. Sun Petal Grove into play. Put it. Island. And passes. Now, let's cycle. Draw a card. Fabled Passage. Crack it. Grab an Island. Cultivate. Get a Island and a we do need the Island. Yeah, Island Forest is fine. Put the Forest into play. We want to be able to cast all these Grow Spirals. Opponent, more Grow Spirals. There's the Field of Ruin. Sure. Maybe our opponent just, like, Bant Control. Gonna blow up our Field of the Dead. Yeah. Grab a Swamp. Ooh, that actually, that was probably a mistake. I was thinking you tried to get a variety of lands for Field of the Dead, but we probably should have just grabbed a Island so we could Grow Spiral once. Alright, there's a Field of the Dead. And our Promise. Ooh, okay. Well, Pony is winning the Field of the Dead race at the moment. Field of the Dead, Fabled Passage, 4 zombies. All right, well, let's see what we draw. Uro. Oh, play the land, grow Spiral. Thoughtseize our opponent. Take Censor. Uro. Put a land into play. Well, opponent's got nothing going on, but they do have zombies going on. Opponent hits us. Down to 11. Land, zombies. Ooh, there's our Hour of Promise. Well, let's... Ugh. We probably got a Wrath first, though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opponent's gonna have so many zombies. Yeah, let's grow Spiral. Draw a card. Put Fabled Passage into play. Languish. Opponent does get 2 more zombies, but now we get to go zombie making mode. And I think we can catch back up. Opponent cracks. 2 zombies. Because their hand isn't, well, we'll see what their hand is. We'll see what they draw. Their hand isn't anything too scary at the moment. And we'd make enough zombies to stop our opponent's zombies. We'll see what their draw for the turn is. Opponent combat. Hits us. Yeah. Down to 7. Forest zombies. Well, it's all about this Hour of Promise. Opponent passes. Field of the Dead. Zombie. Hour of Promise. 2 more Field of the Deads. Many zombies. And pass the turn. And now we are making more zombies than our opponent. Opponent. Cycles. Draws a card. Land. Zombies. Sure. To the bottom. And opponent. Passing. Wow, the big attack. All right. Well, we'll block. I mean, we're fine with this because I feel like we're just making more zombies now. So trading off is fine with us. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab a Forest. Make some zombies. Untap. Blast Zone. Make a few zombies. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Yeah. Blocks and blocks. Well, we'll get back Uro. This probably does mean our opponent just Wrath, but get back Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw a card. Gain some life. Pass the turn. Wow, we only have 2 blue sources somehow. Opponent has Teferi. All right. Draws a card. Teferi is good for our opponent. There's the Wrath. And a land for a couple of zombies. And a Scry to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's just draw. Draw a card. Ooh, crosses. Huh. All right, untap. Opponent gets to untap a couple lands. Well, Drowned Catacombs. Zombies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, crosses X11? Yeah, crosses X11. Actually, you know what? Let's go X10. They could have Censor. Crosses X10. And pass the turn. All right. All right, all right. What do you have about it? Land. Zombies. Teferi. All right, gonna tuck the crosses. Sure. About it. Passes. Well, let's go to combat. Everything at Teferi. Opponent blocks, and blocks, and blocks. So Teferi sticks around momentarily. Sure. We will explore Jungle Hollow, zombies. We will Uro. Actually, can we... Let's think about this. Blue, green. Yeah, let's... Uro. Draw crosses. Hinterland Harbor into play. Make some zombies. And then... Uro. Draw a card, gain some life. Watery Grave into play untapped. Make some zombies. Breeding Pool into play untapped. Make some zombies. Thoughtseize you. Make sure there's no Wrath hanging out. Ooh, a big shark. All right. We'll take the opt. We will kill the shark. And all right. Here you go, opponent. This is your chance. Can you top deck? They get an extra draw with Teferi. Takes it up. Draws a card. Is it an answer? Is it an answer? It is not an answer, and even in a world of Field of Dead decks, apparently ours can hold up. Okay, so opponent's playing Bant Field of the Dead. We'll bring in Ulamog. We'll bring in 2 casualties of 4. We'll bring in the Massacre Worm, just as a gotcha. We will go down... What do we cut? Go down a Heartless Act. Go down Oracle. Go down a Languish. And... probably 1 land. 1 Overgrown Tomb. Run it like that. Alright. Have we met our match in a Field of the Dead mirror? Although, our builds are definitely different. Opponents like Bant ramp control with Field of the Dead, and we're just Sultai turbo Field of the Dead, I guess I'd say. Oh, opponent's on the play. That was actually close. Okay. This hand's fine. It's not, like, super exciting, but it's fine. Thornwood Falls go. Explore's good. We don't mind the Explore. Opponent. Hinterland Harbor. Well, land, Explore. Would you like to censor us, opponent? They would. Alright. Sure. Untap land. And Uro draws a card, puts a land into play. To the top. A Teferi here would be an issue. Well, let's play Archvarozka. Play Uro. Put Jungle Hollow into play. Pass the turn. Untap land. Oh, Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Well, that's not a Teferi at least. Eats our Uro. Opponent passing. I really don't want to get this censored. Well, that's Uro. It is gonna get oozed. Put a forest into play. Put a swamp into play. Cultivate. Opponent has a veto. All right. Opponent untaps. Plays a land. Eats our Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's see if Hour of Promise resolves. Opponent hits us. Down to 24. Hour of Promise. Okay. So opponent has a lot of counters. All right. Well, opponent's got a shot. They do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, all those counters is giving our opponent hope. Opponent plays a land. Hits us down to 20. Because we're not doing a whole lot at the moment. After getting all of our stuff countered, Breeding Pool tapped. Pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Opponent eats. Ooh, can we get to this Ulamog? Opponent eats. Counters are not good against us if we have Field of the Dead going, but they are good against our ramp spells, apparently, as we learned. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 16. Ooh, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. All right, so play Drowned Catacombs, Crossus X7. Draw some cards. Do we have counter number 4? Ooh, tap land. That's awkward. All right, counter number 4. So this lets our opponent get Uro back, and because we drew this tap land and no other lands, we're actually not guaranteed to be able to cast this Ulamog next turn, which is pretty bad. Wow, 4 counters. So our opponent has a lot of counters, we have learned. Which, if we have Field of the Dead, doesn't matter, but does matter if we don't have Field of the Dead. Opponent cracks. Oh, we need an untap land. An untap land is probably game. So opponent gets the land. They get to Uro. They get to draw a card to gain some life. Untap land should just win us the game. We'll see. Opponent, Uro, Field of the Dead, makes a zombie, hits us. Down to 14. Untap land, Hour of Promise. Well, not an untap land, but a good... they can't have another one. All right. Hour of Promise. All right. Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead. Make some zombies. Ugh. Let's pass. We're going to hold on to the fetid pools. How we could lose is our opponent having, like, Deputy Detention or something to get rid of all of our zombies. If we leave up Grow Spiral... we can put fetid pools into play. We could take the risk that we're going to draw it anyway, but that's pretty risky. Opponent gets in with Uro. Sure. Well, everything in front of Uro. Uro down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, opponent passes. All right. Euro Spiral. Fetid pools. Make some zombies. Untap. Ulamog. Ooze and Field of the Dead. Can't counter that. Opponent's going to float a mana. Sure. Resolves. Go to combat. Attack you. The tide is turned. Ooh, Shark Typhoon. All right. Okay, that is a little frightening. That could actually kill us. It has flying. And our opponent could have counters. Opponent ops. We have the casualties, but will we be able to resolve it is the question. Land. No zombie. Opponent hits us. Oh boy. Down to 7. Teferi. Oh, the question's going to be, do they have another counter? Draws a card. Do they have another counter? Well, Growth Spiral. Put a land into play. Tapped. Make some zombies. Opponent untaps the lands. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Massacre Worm. Kill your zombies. Hit ya. Go to combat. Everything in our opponent. Opponent has settled the wreckage. I think this is oddly okay. Get the rest of our lands, make a bunch of zombies. This actually works out fine. So we get a million zombies, we get to beat the shark, which was our concern. So set up for lethal next turn. Casualties of war. Planeswalker, land, creature, shark, Teferi, and I don't know if it really matters, a land. Oh boy, that was close. Cycles a censor. That is acceptable. All right. Opponent untaps. Growth Spiral. Can get back a row. Yeah. Draws a card, gains some life. Puts a land into play. Ugin. Opponent found another counter. Well, we will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw a card. Go to combat. Hit you with Massacre Worm. Opponent takes it. Down to 19 past the turn. I don't know if we have to kill our opponent. They only have 13 cards in their deck. We might just have to live long enough to have our opponent mill out. Do they have Shark Typhoons left is the big question. Another big instant speed shark. Opponent ops. Do they have Shark Typhoons? To the top. 1, 2. So 2 Shark Typhoons are down? Alright. Opponent, combat. Attacks. Draws a card, gains some life. Well, we will put our zombies in front of the Uro. Uro down. So it's actually been a pretty interesting match. Opponent gets pinged. 9 cards in their deck. Gets back Uro. Yeah. 8 cards. Draws a card, gains some life. Well, Growth Spiral. Hinterland Harbor. Makes some zombies. Hour of Promise. Opponent finds another veto. Let's draw a card. Explore. Draw a card. Cultivate. Do we have lands left? No. Alright. That was awkward. We probably should have checked that first, I guess. Well, no attacks past the turn. Okay! Growth Spiral. Opponent draws a card. 6 cards in the deck. I'm mostly worried about Shark Typhoon. Opponent. Combat. Attacks with Uro. Draws a card. 5 cards in the deck. Field of the Dead to make some zombies. Well, we will block the Uro. Kill the Uro. Opponent down to 24. Oh, it's all about the shark. It's all about the Shark Typhoon. Opponent. Fable Passage zombies. Passes. Ooh. Well. How do we do this? How do we do this? Let's explore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw with Arch Veraska. Blast Zone. Make some zombies. We can't beat the Shark Typhoon if they have it. Watery Grave. Make some zombies. Pass the turn. No attacks. Oh, do they have it? Do they have it? Fabled Passage cracked. No lands to get. You got it? They do. Alright. Yeah. Well, that was a card that we knew our opponent could win if they had. And they did find it just in time. Interesting. Huh. So I think in that game, our opponent just happened to draw a ridiculous number of counters. A pretty over-the-top ridiculous number of counters. I think we're going to go down the Wraths and trust that and trust that we can just out-zombie our opponent. And we'll keep the Heartless Axe, run it like that. Oh boy! Yeah, opponent's deck is just all counters, essentially, at this point. All counters to Fairy Shark Typhoon. No, we get to play first. Awkward, but we'll keep. Well, land go. We need some black manas, opponent. Tap land. Well, land, explore. Put a Field of Dead into play, pass the turn. Field of Dead for our opponent. Well, Uro. Draw a card. Gain some life. Hinterland Harbor. Blast Zone. Still no black mana. Opponent opts. To the top. Untaps. Forest for our opponent. Okay! Well, now I think this is most likely game. Opponent not leaving up a counter here is very good news for us. Opponent passes. Play 1, 2, 3, or 5. Yeah, Field of the Dead. Our promise. Get Castle Lochwain Bajukabog. Make 1,000,000 zombies. Get rid of your Uro. Turn on our black spells. And this is where we want to be. This is where we want to be. Opponent under a lot of pressure. Plays a land. Passes. Well, we will go to combat. We will attack our opponent. Are we sharking? Oh, yes. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We will accept that, opponent. You can actually kill one of our zombies. I think that is fine. Opponent sharks. But this clears the way for Ugin. Ugin kills the shark. And too good. Too good. Even in the mirror, it's too good. Opponent plays a tap land. To the bottom. Passes. Well, Drowned Catacombs. Zombies. Ugin your face. Go to combat, attack you. Hit you. Down to 8. Opponent takes it. Thought sees you. Opponent grows spirals. Untap land zombie. For a veto. Okay. Well, let's explore. Put a land into play. Zombies. And, yeah, pass the turn. Opponent's got to deal with zombies, and they have to deal with Ugin, which is about to ultimate. Opponent's in trouble on multiple fronts, and I mean, I think we just outfielded the dead to them. Oh, this deck is so good. Teferi. So Teferi can deal with the Ugin, but how does it keep our opponent from dying to... this board full of zombies? Grow Spiral. I think it's got to be another Field of the Dead. Maybe does it? Opponent. Thinking. Counting. Scooping. Oh, this deck's so busted. And, I mean, I don't see how our opponent gets out of this, even with the land to make zombies. Land, zombie, sure. Not enough. Oh, okay. Maybe. Opponent's passing. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put some counters on Blast Zone. Untap. Well, go to combat. Attack our opponent. And scoops it up. And, oh, this deck is so good. Well, we'll talk about it in the wrap-up. But, the deck's insane. Aggro didn't beat it. Control didn't beat it. Other versions of Field of Dead didn't beat it. The deck is just, it is really strong. Free wins. I mean, it is grindy, so free wins might not be the best characterization, but boy, is it a powerful deck. All right. Yeah, be back in the wrap-up. So what do we learn this week about Field of the Dead in Historic? And I gotta say, playing the deck did not change my feelings about the deck at all. So we went 5-0. I don't want to say super easily. We did have some grindy, interesting matches along the way, but we played Sacrifice, beat it. We played Mono Red, beat it. We played Esper Control, beat it. We beat a Bant Field of the Dead deck. So literally choose essentially anything that you could say, oh, I think that beats Field of the Dead. Aggro, combo, control. It doesn't actually beat Field of the Dead. Like, we even played Mono Red, probably the best straightforward aggro deck in the format, twice, and we beat it twice relatively easily. Like, we make a bunch of zombies, we kill some of their stuff, it's actually not a very hard matchup. So, playing the deck, if anything, has made me even more convinced that it's probably not a deck that we want in the Historic format. I think Field of the Dead is just too much value for free. And the problem with the deck, especially now, like, it was already a good deck in Historic. Now it's an insane deck in Historic, thanks to Hour of Promise getting the Field of the Dead. But the problem is, it's really, really hard to interact with, and it's really hard for the deck to fizzle. Like, that is the power of Field of the Dead. Once you get it and some lands on the battlefield, which is all our deck does, it's all literally 31 lands, like 20 ramp spells and a few utility spells. That is literally the entire deck. But once you get it going, you really can't whiff. You draw for your turn. Maybe you draw an Ugin or a Uro or a Hydroid Crosses. Great, you drew something awesome. Maybe you draw a land. Great, that's making 1, 2, 3, 4 zombies, depending on how many Field of the Deads you have on the battlefield. Maybe you draw an Explorer Growth Spiral. Sure, that's giving us another draw. Maybe even giving us more zombies. Maybe you draw a Ramp Spell. That's awesome as well. Maybe it's another Hour of Promise, and we already got our Field of the Dead. Sure, we'll grab some card draw in Arch of Araska or a Castle Lock Wayne. We can grab some life gain. We can grab removal from our lads. So nothing about our matches today made me change my mind that I think this deck probably should not be part of the format. And more specifically, I think you just get rid of Field of the Dead. Like, that is my opinion. Yes, I do think that Field of the Dead was okay before Amonkhet Remastered and Hour of Promise came along. However, and this is a very big, important however, the problem with banning Hour of Promise and being like, okay, we'll just get rid of Hour of Promise, we'll go back to like we were before. The thing is, Magic is going to be around for a while. Fingers crossed, hopefully. But in theory, Magic is going to be around for a while. Historic is going to keep getting new cards. We got Pioneers, Masters coming. I'm sure we'll have more remix sets. We have new sets being added from Standard on every quarter. So the thing is, Hour of Promise, even if you ban it, sooner or later, there's going to be another Hour of Promise. Like, that's a kind of Magic card that is going to exist in the future, in the multiverse. On the other hand, Field of the Dead, that's something pretty easy not to reprint. Like, you just learn that lands that make creatures for free without much of a drawback, and you don't need to use mana, like, those are just cards that you probably shouldn't print in Magic. So if you ban Hour of Promise, you're kind of, like, fixing the problem temporarily. Like, sure, Field of the Dead probably goes back to being another, like, I would say top tier good deck, but not a broken deck if you ban Hour of Promise. However, there will be another Hour of Promise. So my thinking is just get rid of Field of the Dead. I'm really unsure why Wizards unbanned Field of Dead in the format. It's banned in Pioneer. It was banned in Standard. Seems like a long shot that it's going to be okay. And the other thing about the deck that I gotta point out is the way people try to fight this deck, it's almost laughable. Not that the people are building their decks wrong. They're doing what you can, but you see people like the red decks bringing in Goblin Root Blaster. That's like a joke, essentially. Like, sure, spend 4 mana to kill a Field of the Dead opponent. That is fine. We saw Crucible of the Worlds with Ghost Quarters and Field of Ruins. That was almost laughable as well. Like, I could see a world where that works, but it requires you, like, drawing everything exactly at the right time. And when our opponent finally got us hit up, we already had, like, 8 zombies on the battlefield, a bunch of Field of the Deads. So they Ghost Quarter us, and we get a basic and get a bunch more zombies and kill them. So the way that people are trying to fight it, like, people are doing what they can to try to fight the deck, but those ways are just not good enough. They're not even, like, a little bit close. They're almost, from this side of the table, they're almost laughable. And that's kind of something I learned for playing other decks playing this Field of the Dead deck is I don't even know if it's worth it. Like, sure, like Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter, they're okay cards to have in your deck anyway, but I really don't even know if it's worth trying to fight the Field of the Dead battle. Like, I just don't know if that's practical, if that's something you're ever going to win and be able to actually, like, succeed and win the match by using that strategy. You can't play, like, Virulent Plague, I guess, is the one answer that is, like, kind of good, but then still, we have Casualties of War, we have ways to interact with it, so it's not like that's game over either. Sweepers don't really do it, because more zombies are coming. Creatures don't really do it. This Rex creature decks, because you just have a million blockers. So I guess your option is to try to, like, be amazingly aggressive, and as we saw, that doesn't even work because we played Mono Red twice and crushed it, or play some sort of combo deck and just, like, combo through it. So I don't know. I mean, the deck's busted. My advice to you would be one of two things. One is, if you want to rank up on Arena in Historic, I do think this is the best deck in the format. I do think you will easily rank up if you play it halfway decently. However, there is risk, because I also do believe that Field of the Dead is going to end up getting banned. Nothing about today's matches change my mind that it should be banned. If anything, it confirmed that it should be banned in my mind, because I thought for a minute, like, when people were saying, oh no, in my experience, aggro can beat it, I thought for a minute, like, okay, maybe that's true, like, maybe I'm missing something, and mono red just crushes it, but that doesn't actually seem to be the case. So if anything, I'm more convinced now than I was 5 matches ago, when we were first starting off this video, that it's going to be banned. So if you do buy into it, keep in mind, there is very high odds that something could change with this deck. Field of the Dead could get banned. Yeah, the other cards are decent, like Thoughtseize you'll use, Earl you'll use, Ugin you'll probably use, Crosses you might use. So you're not buying a bunch of like super specific cards outside of all the random lands that you might not use in other decks. But keep that in mind. Ranking up, I think this is the best option. You should be able to do it easily. Although, do it quickly, because who knows when the hammer will fall, and the hammer will fall. Like, I'm pretty convinced the hammer is going to fall on Field of the Dead. So anyway, that's been Much Abrew, Field of the Dead in Historic for Silence. Let me know what you think. Like, should Field of the Dead be banned? Did our matches today change your opinion in any way? Am I missing something? Is there some deck out there that just crushes this Field of the Dead deck and I'm totally blowing out of proportion? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.